Hi, good morning. Well, it's morning for me. I'm happy to be Ms. Vernon. I'm going to read you the story about Tessa Tiger's temper tantrums. Tessa Tiger likes to play sports, but not when she loses. I know I've sometimes I've felt sort of the same way. She stomps and storms until her friends don't want to play with her anymore. Well, let's see what happens to her. All right, here we go. Tessa Tiger was very good at playing sports, but she was not a very good sport. You have to be a good sport. You have to understand losing. Most of all, Tessa liked to play t-ball. In fact, all the students in Alpha Betty's class liked to play t-ball after school. They had split their classes into two teams. Sometimes Tessa's team won. Then Tessa would throw her hat in the air, she would twist and twirl, and she would hoot and holler. What did she do if she loses? Let's see. Sometimes Tessa's team lost. Then Tessa would hit her head against a tree, she would stomp and storm, and once she even stuck out her tongue. Stop, Tessa, don't do that, her team told her. They were becoming more and more upset with Tessa. Sure. One afternoon, the T-ball was especially exciting. The score was tied 3-3. There was one more inning. Tessa's team was first to bat, but no one scored a run. Tessa's face looked stormy. They thought, oh my goodness, I bet. Then it was the other team's turn to bat, and their first batter hit a home run. Tessa's team had lost the game. I wonder how Tessa's going to take that. Think about that before we turn the page. Tessa Tiger threw her most terrible temper tantrum ever. She tossed her mitt into a tree. She kicked the basket of balls and stubbed her toe. Then she tripped on a bat and fell. Tessa tumbled down topsy-turvy to the bottom of a hill, and there she sat crying buckets of tears. I don't know. It must have been very difficult to be Tessa to be that emotional, I would think. Both teams rushed to help Tessa. Are you hurt? They asked. No, screamed Tessa. T-ball is stupid. All the kids put their hands over their ears. They tiptoed away. I don't know. Poor Tessa. I don't know. She's got herself in a jam. Tessa trudged home. She felt terrible. Her mitt was lost. Her shirt was torn. Her toe hurt. And worst of all, she had a temper tantrum tummy ache. Oh, she was just a mess, wasn't she? The next morning, Tessa's team talked with their teacher, Alpha Betty. They told her about Tessa's terrible temper tantrum. Why do you think they talked with her? Let's find out. Tessa's not a good sport, they said. She takes the fun out of playing t-ball. We don't want Tessa on our team. Tessa's team didn't know that she was just around the corner listening. How do you think Tessa felt? Let's see. Betty sat quietly for a minute. She tapped her toes. She twiddled her thumbs. She thought things over. Then she smiled. I have an idea. Later that day, Alpha Betty made her class their favorite treat, peanut butter on toast. Ooh, I do love that myself. While they ate, she told a funny story. It was about the time she threw a temper tantrum when she was just a little lion cub. I had painted a picture of my twin sister, Alpha Betty told the class. I had painted it on the tablecloth with ketchup. Oh, can you imagine? It was a great autistic masterpiece, but my sister washed it out. I was so angry with her, said Alpha Betty. I threw a real fit. Talk about tantrums. I tossed around so much. Do you know what happened? She paused. I twisted my own tail into a knot. Well, that must have hurt. All the students gasped, but the thought of Alpha Betty having a temper tantrum was just too funny. The students were tickled. They started to giggle, and they giggled, and their tummies turned in a good way. Then Alpha Betty asked a question. Do you think temper tantrums are helpful? Tessa blurted out, no! After that, words tumbled out of Tessa's mouth. Temper tantrums hurt your tummy in a bad way, and your friends don't want to play with you anymore ever again in their whole lives. Two big tears trickled down Tessa's face. What can you do instead of losing your temper? Alphabetti asked the class. Her students had lots of ideas. Stop and think before you blow up. Try to make games fun for everyone. Always be a good sport, win or lose. Tessa listened quietly, then very softly she spoke. I'm sorry about yesterday. I'll be a better sport from now on, honest. That's great, Tessa, her friend said. Do you want to play T-ball after school? Tessa smiled. You bet. Tessa Tiger's team lost again that day. Everyone turned to look at Tessa. What would she do? What do you think Tessa's going to do? Well, let's see. Tessa did not have a temper tantrum. Maybe you do better tomorrow, she grinned. And maybe we won't. But win or lose, there will be no knots in our tails. Then Tessa started to giggle, and they knew that Tessa had heard the story. She was behind the wall. And Tessa Tiger and both teams laughed until their tummies hurt in a good way. Ah, there's some other books you can read. But here's the end of hers. Just giving you some other ideas about books to read. Have a wonderful day. I loved reading with you. Bye.